Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Sam Sports channel on YouTube. And if you are watching this, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page and like this particular topic we're going to be sharing today, and also share with all the professionals in the field of physical and health education and sports. My name is Olasame Tosin. I'm a Nigerian and I'm based in Lagos. Um, right now, I'm hoping to start my PhD soon. I've been working for more than 10 years in the area of coaching sports, teaching elementary and secondary school children uh, physical education and sports. I have a gymnastics studio where where I coach gymnastics. So I do a whole lot of activities, okay? And I'm also an academia, all right? I do more of research and also create content for people, most especially students in the area of physical and health education and sport. All right, so today we're going to be talking about choosing the best sport for your child. So this topic is something that I believe everyone should have an idea or background knowledge about as a professional or a parent or stakeholders, okay? Because nowadays, most parents don't know how to go about choosing a sport for a child, and I mean for their children rather. At the end of the day, you see that child picking different sports, and at the end of the day, won't be able to play any of the sports, and this is because they don't know how their parents or their guardians don't know how to go about it, and even most teachers, coaches don't know how to address this issue, and that is why I decided to put this on my YouTube channel so that everyone can have an idea, a fair idea of how to go about um, choosing a sport for our students. All right. Thank you so much. Once again, please don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like this particular topic so you can share with your friends and even use it subsequently for your research topic and whatever you want to do with it. Okay. So we're going to start now. Introduction. Worldwide, children and sports are inseparable, mainly because children are the end product of any developmental sports program such as the grassroots talent discovery scheme. However, in the process of grooming these future champions, their aspirations and dreams could be marred either by the parents, guardians, and their coaches if there is no right decision on which sport is suitable to play competitively or for recreation. As you can see, there is a clause there, and the clause is right decision, because you need to make a decision for a student or for potential students. All right, those who will know that okay, this child is good. Naturally, this child is going to do well in the area of sports. I mean, when it comes to sports and activity, this child is going to physically. I mean, when you're talking about the physique of a child, and you know that this child is very active and listens to the coach and performs well, so you should be able to say, okay, this child should be able to do a particular sport well. I mean, to an elite level. And how do we go about guiding this child? Is I mean, the only way is to make a right decision for that student or for that child, as a parent or as a coach or as a guardian. A brief definition of sports. We need to start digging out. I mean, before we start talking about the criteria and things we need to do, let's first of all focus on the sports, because we are here because of sports, right? Although definitions vary, many scholars identify sport as well-established, officially governed competitive physical activities in which participants are motivated by internal and external rewards. We call that intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. Okay, something within or outside. So it's either you like the sport, you just want to play it, or you want to play the sport and you're going to get a reward for it. Those are the motives behind you playing a sport, and sport is governed by different rules and regulations. Okay, so those are the things what you do competitively, or you do for recreation, or you just do because you feel like, okay, I'm going to get a medal, I'm going to get something, I'm going to be so famous. So those are the things, those are the activities we can name as sport, and it must involve physical activities because although some sports are not physically based, okay, such as Ludo or indoor games, board games. They are more of mental based or cognitive. Let's put it cognitive based sports. But all in all, we can still classify them as sport because there's a motive behind those sports. All right, moving on. So let's look at the sport structure. So when you are looking at the sport for a child, you need to look at the structure, okay, of that sport, of sport in general. So we have individual sports, we have contact sports, we have competitive. So when you look at those three things, individual sport, contact sport, and competitive, and under the individual, I mean, we also have uh, dual sports, and we also have team sports. Okay, so individual, dual sports, and team sports. Individual sports are the sports one person can play, such as gymnastics, swimming, and which other one? A whole lot of sports that only you can play, chess, ludo, but some are also played by, I mean, duo. Okay, we can be individual and duo. For instance, table tennis, one person can play table tennis as well as two, okay, as a team. I mean, duo means two. Then we have team, anything beyond two, let's say two to three to four, five, like basketball and relay race in athletics. Those are the team sports. So we should understand that first. So now moving on to the if this sport is sport that you cannot classify as a contact sport, that means the sport you cannot do without touching your opponent or even touching your teammates. All right, or play around your teammates, or non-contact sport that you can play the sport without having any encounter or any personal physical encounter with your teammates. So those are non-contact sports. All right. So don't forget where we started from. We started by saying that sports are the physical activities that you do with the motive behind it, either the intrinsic, which is within, I mean, reward, or the one outside that you feel like, okay, I don't want any reward, I just want to play the sport for fun. All right, we're also talking about um, how the structure of the sport, how you can, it's okay. Before we start looking at the way this child is going to play, I mean, how we're going to go about picking a child or choosing a sport rather, choosing a sport for this child. So let's look at how we're going to go about it, and we are talking about individual sport now. Okay, if is this child is going to, I mean, can this child fit in the individual sport or do sport or team sport? We also look at the contact sport. If this child is kind of child that, I mean, a child that has allergy, that doesn't like people touching or moving close to him or her. So you know, also look at the okay, contact sports. Should I pick contact sport for this child or not? Should this child do gymnastics or table tennis or football or basketball? Okay, those are non-contact sport and contact sport. Then lastly, we also look at the motive. Are we picking the sport? I mean, are you choosing a sport rather for this child because you want the child to play competitively? Usually, when I'm talking to my parents, I mean, when a parent comes and they want to sign up a child for a particular sport, I do ask. I always ask that are you planning to make this child to play competitively, or you just want to make the child play in a recreational way just to have fun and keep fit and all that. So we need to also look at the motives, okay, and those are the structures, okay, that guide our decision. Okay, don't forget we're talking about decision here. So the first, are you sure the child is going to do well in individual sports such as gymnastics or table tennis or swimming, or do sport like two? Maybe if the child can cope with another person in a team, or in a team like more than two, like table tennis, football, and all that. If the child that can accommodate others, all right, that can play well, then you can, okay, you know what to go about. You know how, you know your child more than the coach, so you know the character and the attitude of that child. You know the personality of the child. All right. And what I mean by personality, we're talking about the sanguine, we're talking about choleric, we're talking about which other one is that? I think three of them: sanguine, choleric, and sorry, I think I've forgotten that. I'm going to remember later. So this lecture is not scripted. Please just pardon the way I'm talking. I'm trying to gather my words, gather my thoughts together. But I just want us to learn. If you are watching this and you like to know more, maybe you want to have a good discussion, just I'm going to put my address and my email address on the caption. Just get in touch with me and let's talk. All right. So now we understand the structure. Now we understand the structure. We understand the structure of sport and what the basis of what we are looking at. How to go about it. Are you going to decide on, okay, individual sport or do sport or team sport, or you want a contact sport or not contact sport? Do you want the child to earn money after 5 years of training, or you want the child to represent your country or your state or your just make a decision. So let's move on now. So a tough job. Nowadays, it's quite challenging and difficult to choose to make a child play a particular sport, and I will agree with that. Because of different options and external influences they get, perhaps through media, friends, or professional sport. Therefore, parents and coaches should be able to um, guide um, guide their child or children, students in the right direction by looking at some qualities which would enable such child to have a worthwhile experience playing such sport. Right? So it's our job as coaches and guardians and parents, okay, to guide the thought of that child to okay, you know what, these are the things on ground now. We have structure on ground. We have competitive and non competitive. We have contact and non contact. We have dual, individual, and all that. Are you going to do well in gymnastics? Are you ready to put in more effort individually, or you like to work with others? So you need to know the mind of your child. If you really want a child to do well in any sport, it's compulsory and mandatory for you to sit that child down, except maybe just a toddler, maybe 3, or hey, you can still decide. What when the child is beginning to get serious, okay, let's say 6, 7, 5, I'm sorry, 6, 7, 8 rather, and you need to have one-on-one conversation with that child. All right, from there you'll be able to know what that child wants. Criteria for choosing a sport for your child. Step 1: expose to a variety of sports. So when you have discovered that, okay, this child is good, I mean, mentally, physically, very active, so what you need to do as a parent, as a parent rather, or a guardian, you need to take that child out, expose the child to different variety, from the dual sport to team sport to individual sport. Let the child get a taste of all the sports. A child's interest in a given sport is the best determiner of whether he or she will enjoy it as a participant. To expose the child to a wide variety of sport experiences. Watching sports on television is a good introduction, but even better is to be a spectator in real life. Talk to them about what they like and dislike about each sport. A child should be allowed to try a whole wide range of sports, such as dual racket sport, tennis, table tennis, badminton, individual non-contact sport, gymnastics, swimming, athletics, individual contact sport, wrestling, taekwondo, boxing, kickboxing, contact sport, contact team sport, football, American football, basketball, volleyball, handball, water polo, and a whole lot of sports. Just understand that. Please, this is very, very important. We need, if possible, for you to pause this video and take a screenshot and write this down, because these are the basis, okay, what you need to do with your child that wants to play the sport. Step 2, watch for signs of enthusiasm. Okay, you need to know if this child is ready. Anytime he gets to hear, okay, gymnastics, is that child happy? I mean, gets happy rather, or his mood changes whenever he hears any sport being called. So when your child is so happy whenever he hears football, let's go and play football, and say, oh yeah. But when he hears football, I say, oh, I'm not interested today. Then those are the signs. Okay, as you check out the various sports, see if you can tell which of them seem most interesting to the child. Listen to your child about their preferences. Maybe they will talk about the players, the strategies, or they will tell others about experience. They may gravitate towards friends that play a particular sport. If you watch and listen, you can pick up some clues about the sport that interests them most. So, as I think I've explained that. So, step 3 now, find out preferences, team or individual sport. Some children would prefer to participate in a team sport like football, baseball, or basketball, in which they play a role on a team. Others will prefer being a team where their own skills matter most. Sports like this include swimming, tennis, or golf. Or they may simply enjoy individual sports like cycling and gymnastics. As you observe, your child try to find out what their preferences are. These observations will help you zero in on a sport that will work best for your child. So, as you can see, these are the things that we need to understand. Okay, we need to understand that we need to understand the preferences, what your child prefers most. Okay, let them just try, have a taste of all the sport. But I'm going to give my thoughts on all this towards the end of this video, so that we will all learn together, and peradventure you're going to also take my advice and make use of it. Step 4, match the sport to your child's body type. Okay, so this is very, very important as well. In choosing a perfect sport for your child, there are so many factors to put into consideration, such as body type of such child. There are 3 types of body shapes, namely ectomorph, so ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph. So we're going to talk about ectomorph now. Ectomorphs are lean and long. Okay, I don't want to call them slender or slim, with difficult building muscles. Okay, those are those kind of skinny. I'm sorry for choice of words. Okay, if you have your child that's so not that big, very slim. Okay, so you have an ectomorph child. So if you have endomorph, big height body fat, or often pear shaped, with a high tendency to store body fat, chubby kind of child, okay, with body, that's robust. Mesomorph, muscular and well built, with a high metabolism and responsive muscle set. Those are the sprinters you see, okay. So let's just say ectomorph, those who run long distance races, like most of Kenyans and people that don't really eat much and they have skinny body, all right. So endomorph are chubby kind of, they are plumpy, right? Let's put it that way. And mesomorph, they are body, round body kind of body like mine, all right. Mesomorph. A short and stocky child may be better suited to football than basketball. Tall and lanky may work better for basketball or track. While there are always shorter than average basketball player and smaller than average football players, odds of the success and at a young age have a lot to do with their body style. So now step 5, try multiple sports. Okay, these are the things I've made mention of this earlier. So let's quickly read it. Once you have narrowed down to a few sports, that they seems to enjoy, try them. Why you should avoid playing more than one sport during any session? It will be okay to have them play soccer in the spring, football in the fall, I mean, and volleyball in the winter, as they begin to better identify with one sport. Then you can drop some of others if needed. So what we're trying to say is that if once we have narrowed down some of these sports, okay, you know that okay, he's going to play swim, he's going to swim maybe on Monday, you're going to do gymnastics on Tuesday, you're going to do all this, then you need to also try them in different weather or different the climates. Okay, when you know that okay, this child might not do well during summer, okay, or it doesn't play football quite well during the fall, so you know what is best for them. You know that it's a child, I mean, all around, a child that's so good, rather, that's so good in play a particular sport should be able to play well in summer, during fall, winter, any weather. So once a child I mean, has proven that level of performance, that okay, this I can do well in all the sports, in any weather, any condition you put me, then you should know that that's a green flag. So you should be able to encourage that child to take up that sport. Then step 6, spend one-on-one time learning skills. One of the best things a dad can do, or a parent rather, can do with a child learning a sport is to teach them fundamental one-on-one. Many parents spend hours with their kids playing catch, catch and having them field pops, flies, and grounders in the backyard. Other that set up cones and practice dribbling a soccer ball in and out of the cones. It's a quality time for you and for the child, and helps them learn basic in non-threatening environments. If their sport involves skills you don't have, try learning them together. So basically, what we're trying to say here is, okay, as a dad or as a parent, you should be able to try and get involved. Okay, even if you don't know how to do gymnastics or you don't know how to play football, you can learn alongside with them. Maybe sit with them when they have their private session or private training. Then try to incorporate what they have learned. Try to remind them. When you get back home, incorporate that into your one-on-one time with your child. Okay, try to let them understand, okay, this is the way your coach asks you to do it. This is the way you should go about it. Your coach said you should go raise your hand this way, or dribble this way, or kick the ball this way. Try to remind them. All right, you're also getting involved because you are choosing a sport for the child. You're helping that child grow. All right, so that is just it. All right, step 7, get a checkup. Before participating in sports actively, make sure that the child has a physical exam. All right, discuss the sport plan with the doctor and talk about the physical demands of the sport. Too many times, children are injured in sport because they are not quite ready physically, or they have a limitation that they did not know about before. So when a child is having allergic, or maybe a child is not really, he cannot do beyond or go beyond 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you need to know that that's a red flag. So you need to know the health status of the child, existing illness of that child, medical history of that child, what again? Anything that has to do with the better preparation for the child to excel. If a child that doesn't like to eat, or that doesn't like to that eats too much, so those are the things you need to also look at. You need to help that child decide based on all these things. Okay, it's a collective. How will I put it now? So it's not something that you just pick. Okay, my child can run. Okay, what about that child's medical history? What about that child's mental stability, mental toughness, performance? What if the child that doesn't even like to perform in the presence of everyone? All right, most kids don't like to perform, when it comes to one-on-one, individual performance, such as gymnastics. You see them frozen and fidgeting. So these are the things you also need to work on. Maybe before you sign up that child, you need to work on his or her mental toughness. and that will take a therapist to do. All right. I as a coach, I've done that a lot because my second master's is in sports psychology. All right. So most times we have to deal with a child for almost 3 months, how to believe in himself or herself, how to be confident, how to perform. So those are the program. One of these days, I'm going to do another topic on mental toughness. Okay, how to help a child, overcome fear. All right, during the performance. Okay, I'm gonna work on that very soon. Just please click on the subscribe button, share this video, then share it. Okay, share it and encourage me so that I can do more. If I could get up to, let's say, 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to be doing this at least twice a week. I have different topics to share, even in psychology, in every aspect of sports coaching. All right, I'm going to start doing this. So let's move on, please. So step 8: take the take and teach responsibility. Take and teach responsibility. Participating in sport requires responsibility and self-discipline for both the child and the parent. Practicing at home, keeping track of the equipment, coming on time to practices and games, and being active all requires a sacrifice of time and other interests. Sport can be a good teacher of personal responsibility. This is crucial. This is quite important. Okay, when it comes to sports learning and participation, you can't do without discipline, responsibilities, and a whole lot. So these are the things we also use to help the child grow. Okay, when you know that this child is good, now the next thing is how to take responsibility, how to behave well, how to keep to time, how to say I'm sorry when he's wrong, or when she's wrong, how to respect coaches, respect teammates, respect people around. All right, those are the things we also look at. If a child doesn't have all this, I'm sorry, that child might find difficult, very difficult to excel, to do well. All right, take my word to anyway. Okay, I played sports professionally before I retired in 2012. Even some of us were not doing quite well, but that discipline is still part of us today. All right, so those are the things we need to also look at. So in conclusion, forcing children to choose a single sport far too young and not teaching fundamental movement skills before layering sports specific techniques, which lead to increased injury rates and burnout solution rather. Let young children sample multiple sports. Forcing a 9-year-old to play only soccer, basketball, baseball, or any sport and making them promise to not play other sports does not serve the best interest of that child. Yet it happens all the time. Not providing fundamental movement training within your sport also does not serve the interest of the child. We must stop shortchanging our children's physical literacy development in order to win sports meaningless competition or increase the bottom line of the business. So that's just it. All right. We need to help these children, or our children, to know, help them learn, help them understand, okay, how to go about choosing their own sport. If you are choosing for them, those are the things you need to do. You need to take your time. All right, you need to take your time. It doesn't come by chance. All the professionals you see, they all went through this. They all went through this, right? I'm sure some of them started with basketball before playing football. Some started with football. I know quite a number of female players that started with athletics. They ended up playing football. So some of them didn't get this quite early, and it will also affect them. By the time they now realize, oh, I'm not good at this again. Let me play basketball now. Then they would have, how would I put it now? They would have gotten something so like it's distraction to them. Some of them ended up picking up injury, and they get injured and they won't be able to do well. I mean, like the way they should, they won't be able to perform well, right? Because they did not start that sport quite early. So it's our job, it's our duty as sport professionals as sport coaches, as parents, as guidance to help these children grow. All right, help them grow, help them, with whatever they want to do. At the end of the day, maybe after 5 years or 10 years, we'll be happy that we listen to topics like this and we were able to follow up. So uh, that is it for today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your patience, and I believe you have learned something from this topic. And I promise to bring another one next week. Please don't forget to share this video. You can use the resources, or if you have any question, if you want more consultation, or we want us to talk based on my experience, or based on um, anything you want to know about sports pedagogy, like working with children and literacy about sport and all that, just let me know. I'm also a sports psychologist. I can help. All right. Thank you so much. My name is Ola Samuel TOSIN. I'm reaching you from Lagos, Nigeria. Have a wonderful day. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bye.